All right, so get this. Today, we're going to deep dive into something kind of unexpected: the world of high stakes trading and elite athletics.
Well, this should be interesting.
Yeah, right. So, we found this article, and the title is Five Common Traits of Successful Traders and Top Athletes. I got to say, just reading the title got me thinking about my own, processes in a totally different light.
I can see why it's really fascinating how two fields that seem like worlds apart actually share a ton of the same, like, core principles when it comes to success.
Totally. The article even mentions how some Wall Street firms specifically go after former athletes for their trading desks.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Makes you wonder if there's like some secret sauce these athletes have that just, magically translates to crushing it in the markets.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a secret sauce necessarily, more like a specific mindset, a way of approaching challenges and just constantly pushing for excellence. And, one of the first things the article dives into is this killer competitive edge that both traders and athletes seem to have.
Okay, so it's not just about like wanting to win.
Right.
Got to be something deeper than that.
Oh, absolutely. It's way deeper.
Yeah.
Think of it like this. A pro athlete doesn't just kind of show up on game day and hope for the best. They've got this drive to analyze their opponents, strategize, come up with plays, and constantly look for anything that'll give them an edge.
Mm-hmm.
Top traders,
Mm-hmm.
they approach the market the exact same way.
Yeah.
They're not just, throwing darts at a board. They're prepping and doing all this pre-market analysis. Like you said, they've got a game plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Thinking about entries and exits, strategizing.
Mm.
And they have to adapt to all those market shifts quickly, kind of like an athlete reacting to their opponent in the moment, right?
Right. Got to be quick.
So they're taking that same competitive fire, but
Yeah.
channeling it into research, planning, and like a constant need to up their game.
You got it. And what's interesting? This ties directly into that second shared trait the article talks about: intrinsic motivation.
Right? The whole fire within thing. But I'm curious, like, how does that actually work in trading? It's not like you've got a roaring crowd pushing you to make that winning trade or hit a home run.
Yeah, that's true. It's a different kind of pressure, for
Yeah.
sure. But that internal drive is seriously crucial in both trading and athletics. You need it because both demand a ton of discipline and resilience. Think about it. There are going to be losses, times when the market just throws you a curveball. You got to have that inner fire to keep you going, that drive to analyze what went wrong, pick yourself up, and just keep refining your strategies.
Yeah, it's like if you're only in it for the money, you're probably going to tap out pretty fast when things get rough.
No doubt about it. You need that deeper why, that purpose. Now, you mentioned that fire within, and it makes me think of Isaiah Thomas. That guy was an NBA legend, pure and simple.
I remember him. He wasn't the tallest player out there, but his speed and tenacity were unreal. And talk about resilience. In the '88 NBA Finals, he played through this brutal ankle injury and dropped 25 points in a single quarter. Just pure grit and determination.
Wow, that's some serious mental toughness. But how does that kind of grit translate to, like, sitting in front of a trading screen all day?
Okay, imagine this. A tennis player sticking to their game plan, even when their opponent starts playing super unpredictably, right?
Yeah.
A disciplined trader does the same thing. They avoid emotional reactions to those sudden market swings. It's all about that unshakable focus on the process, the strategy. That's what helps you weather the storms and come out on top.
So it's not enough to just have a plan. You've got to have the mental fortitude to actually stick to it when things get chaotic.
You got it. And that brings us to that third trait we were talking about. Focus, the whole step-by-step approach to victory.
Man, that's something I struggle with. It's easy to get distracted, especially when the market's moving a mile a minute.
Happens to the best of us. It's like anything else in life. Staying focused is tough. But in trading, it's like everything.
Right.
So think about how an athlete uses a pregame routine to get in the zone.
Yeah, yeah.
Traders can use that same idea. Like create their own routine, reviewing their watch list, checking economic calendars, setting goals for the day. It's about intentionally narrowing your focus to what matters most in that moment.
Yeah.
It's easy to get overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's like putting on those mental blinders to block out all the distractions and just zero in on the task at hand.
Exactly. And another thing athletes are amazing at is compartmentalizing. Like they treat each game, each set, each point as its own separate event. They're giving it their all in that moment, regardless of how they did before or what the score is.
So how does a trader use that same kind of mindset? Is it about treating every single trade like a fresh start?
Absolutely. Each trade is its own opportunity, and it needs that careful analysis and execution. Doesn't matter if you just closed a winning trade or took a loss. It's about approaching every new setup with the same level of focus and discipline.
So it's like wiping the slate clean, not letting those past wins or losses mess with your judgment.
Exactly. Which actually leads perfectly into our next trait, number 4, mastery of the fundamentals. This one might sound obvious, but it's seriously the foundation of consistent success in both fields.
It's like building a house, right? You need that solid foundation to support everything else. For athletes, it's all about perfecting those basic skills, the building blocks of their sport. But for traders, what does that look like?
Well, for traders, it's understanding how the market works. Knowing your currency pairs inside and out. Think of support and resistance levels as the boundaries of a tennis court. Price bouncing off support is like a return shot, and breaking through resistance, well, that's like winning the point.
So it's not just about knowing what the terms mean, it's about actually getting how they play out in the real world of trading.
Exactly. And that brings us to something that might sound a little intimidating at first. Candlestick patterns.
Those always seem kind of mysterious to me, like some secret code that only experienced traders can crack.
They're really not as complicated as they seem. Think of a candlestick pattern like a footprint, but it's a footprint of price action. So for example, a bullish engulfing pattern. Well, that could mean momentum is shifting, kind of like a sprinter suddenly kicking into high gear.
Okay, now that makes a lot more sense. So it's about learning to read those patterns to get a better feel for where the market might be heading.
You got it. And honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to technical analysis. There are tons of indicators and tools traders use to gain an edge. But the main takeaway here is that just like an athlete spends hours practicing those fundamentals, a successful trader puts in the time and effort to really master how the market works.
So it's about building that foundation of knowledge so you can make smart decisions, manage risk effectively, and ultimately boost your chances of success.
Okay, so we've covered 4 key traits so far. That competitive edge, intrinsic motivation, focus, and mastering the fundamentals. And I have a feeling this next one is something everyone can relate to, especially in the high-pressure world of trading.
I think you're right. This next one is something I'm still working on myself, but it's essential for consistent trading. It's mental and emotional fortitude.
Uh-oh, I can feel the tension building already.
Think of it this way. Imagine if Roger Federer just crumbled under pressure every time he's in a Grand Slam final. He wouldn't have all those championships, that's for sure.
Right, he'd be just another guy with potential who couldn't quite handle the pressure.
Exactly. The ability to stay calm, focused, when the pressure's on, that's what makes the difference. It's true in sports, and it's true in trading.
It's like having ice in your veins while everyone else is freaking out. That's a good way to put it. It's about managing your emotions, sticking to the plan, and thinking clearly even when the stakes are sky high.
So it's not about being some kind of robot without emotions. It's about being in control so they don't control your trades.
Exactly. That's what separates the champs from everyone else on the court, the field, or the trading floor. It's mental toughness. You got to be able to handle the ups and downs and come back stronger.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. The article doesn't say you have to be a pro athlete to be a good trader.
Yeah, but it makes a big deal about this athlete mindset.
Right. It's about coming at trading with the same discipline, focus, and resilience that an elite athlete brings to their sport.
So thinking of the market as your playing field, always working on your skills, and developing the mental game to handle the tough times.
Yep. Embracing the challenge, pushing your limits, striving for excellence in every trade.
So for everyone listening, what's the main takeaway from all this?
The article is really pushing this idea to develop the athlete mindset for trading. And here's what's really cool. It's not just about trading. It's bigger than that. It applies to anything where you have to perform under pressure and strive for excellence.
So like surgeons, entrepreneurs, artists, musicians, anyone in a high-stakes environment can use this.
Exactly. It's about seeing how things connect even when they look totally different on the surface. The principles of success, they often work across all sorts of different areas.
Like a mental toolkit that works anywhere.
Yeah, I like that. And there's something else the article digs into, something I thought was really cool, this idea of continuous learning.
Like how athletes are always working on their technique.
Exactly. Top athletes are never satisfied. They're always looking for ways to improve, get better, refine their technique, gain that extra edge.
They've got coaches, trainers, they study their opponents. Always looking for those little things that make the difference.
And good traders do the same. They never stop studying the markets, analyzing trends, working on their strategies. They go to workshops, read books, connect with other traders, anything to stay ahead of the curve.
Trading can feel kind of lonely, though, especially when you're just starting out. How do you find that kind of support?
You're right, it's not a team sport in the traditional sense, but that's where the trading community comes in. It's huge, and it's really supportive. You've got online forums, mentorship programs, local trading groups. You can connect with others, share ideas, and learn from each other's experience.
So even if you're trading alone at your desk, you're not really alone.
Right. It's about finding your people,
Hmm.
the ones who get it,
Yeah.
the ones who understand the ups and downs of trading, people who can support you, challenge you, and help you grow.
I love that idea of finding your trading tribe. It's like having a team, even if you're not on the field together.
That's a great way to put it. And you know something else that athletes do really well? Visualizing success. They see themselves crossing the finish line, making the game-winning shot, hitting their personal best.
Can traders do that too? Visualization.
Totally. Visualization is a powerful tool. Athletes, musicians, traders, anyone can use it to improve. When you visualize yourself succeeding, it helps you build confidence and get your mind ready.
So instead of just hoping for a winning trade, you can actually visualize the whole thing, analyzing the charts, making the trade, and doing it with precision and discipline.
Exactly. Picture yourself staying calm under pressure, making smart choices, managing your risk.
It's like mental rehearsal for those high-pressure trading situations.
That's it. The more you practice it, the more likely you are to actually achieve it when it's real.
This has been great. So many cool insights about the athlete mindset. But before we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with one last thought-provoking question.
Hit me with it.
Thinking about your own field, your own goals,
Well,
are there other parallels you see between high achievers in different areas? Can we learn from athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, anyone else who's at the top of their game?
that is a fantastic question. Everyone should think about that. The thing is, success principles often work across different fields. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you.
What makes them special? What can we learn from their journeys? How can we use those lessons in our own lives to achieve our own goals?
And remember, you don't have to be a pro athlete to have that athlete mindset. It's about discipline, focus, resilience, and constantly learning. That's how you get extraordinary results no matter what you do.
It's about embracing everything, the good, the bad, the challenges. It's all part of growing and developing.
Yeah, it's like realizing we're all capable of so much more than we think. And if we can tap into that athlete mindset, well, that's how amazing things happen.
Something else that really stuck with me from the article was how important a strong support system is.
For sure, for sure. Athletes have all kinds of support, right? Coaches, trainers, teammates, a whole network of people helping them reach their goals. They get that success is rarely a solo thing.
But trading, it can feel so solitary,
Hmm.
especially when you're starting out. So how can people build that kind of support network for themselves?
That's such a good question. And it's something I'm really passionate about. The truth is the trading community is huge, and it's super supportive. There are online forums, mentorship programs. You can even find local trading groups. It's all about connecting with other traders, sharing ideas, learning from each other.
So even if you're physically trading by yourself, you're not really alone.
Right, exactly. It's about finding your people, the ones who get it, the ones who understand the ups and downs of trading, people who can encourage you, give advice, and just offer a different point of view when you need it.
That's a great point. It's like finding your trading tribe.
I love that, your trading tribe.
Yeah. And, we were talking earlier about athletes and how they visualize success, imagining themselves winning, reaching their goals.
Oh, yeah.
Can traders use those same visualization techniques?
Absolutely. Visualization is powerful no matter what you do. Athletes, musicians, traders, anyone can use it. When you visualize yourself succeeding, it builds confidence and prepares your mind for success.
So instead of just hoping for a winning trade, you'd actually visualize the whole process, like seeing yourself analyze the charts, execute the trade, manage everything perfectly.
That's it. See yourself staying calm under pressure, making good decisions, managing your risk. It's like mental rehearsal for those high-stakes situations.
So the more you practice visualizing success, the better your chances of actually doing it in the real world.
Makes sense, right?
It does. Well, we've covered a ton of ground today. All these amazing insights from exploring this whole athlete mindset idea. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave everyone with one final question to think about.
Okay, I'm listening.
So think about your own field, your own goals, whatever those may be. What other connections can you make between high achievers in different areas? What can we learn from athletes, from artists, entrepreneurs, anyone who's operating at the top of their game? That is such a good question. I think everyone should be asking themselves that. Because those principles of success, they really do apply across all sorts of areas. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you. What qualities do they have? What can we learn from their journey? And how can we use those lessons in our own lives, as we pursue our own version of success?
And remember, you don't have to be a professional athlete to develop that athlete mindset. It's about those core values: discipline, focus, resilience, constantly learning and growing. That's how you achieve amazing results, no matter what you set your mind to.
So true. Keep exploring, keep pushing your boundaries, and keep striving to be your best self. Until next time, keep diving deep.